Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Formula Racing League on Sunday night for the PlayStation 5 PureSimGear Super Sprint Sunday. We are live from Kyalami for round 4 of the championship. We've got a couple of cracking races in store for you tonight. It's an absolutely fantastic track, Kyalami, so I'm really excited about this one. Temperatures on track. It is very hot. I hope a few drivers, especially the Scotsman Wee Danny, has got his sunblock with him because it's 25 degrees out there with a track temp of 30, and we've got perfect conditions for pretty much the race. Well, in terms of clear skies, there is technically a 55% chance of rain, but looking at the forecast, that ain't going to be hitting the track anytime soon. But we'll see what day 2, which is technically qualifying, and the 2 races will bring. The forecast can change within the server. So round 4 tonight, and as I said, at Kyalami. It's about 2.8 miles long, Kyalami. Number of overtaking spots, number of infamous corners, especially turn 15. That cheated curve really can jump out and bite you if you take too much of the curve. So plenty to watch out for tonight. So just to bring you up to speed where we are with some of the competitors, we've got 20 drivers on the grid at the moment. We are expecting around about 25, so a few people are a little bit late on tonight, so we should see the grid size just jump up by a few before we get going. But just to bring you up to speed with the standings, and we'll start with the Pro class. So leading the championship is BRC Canesa. Now, I believe Canesa isn't actually racing tonight. He's just double checking that. Yeah, I am right in saying that he's not racing tonight. So he currently leads the championship with 154 points. But with him not racing tonight, that really does open the door to the drivers behind him. So P2 in the championship is Wolfgang, who is currently top of the leaderboard with a 1 minute 42.365. He's currently in the pit lane there. He's in second place, only 10 points behind Canesa. And then third place in the championship for the Pro class is Rapid Duck, who currently occupies the second spot in free practice. So those 2 drivers will be certainly looking to take advantage of Canesa's missed race. However, it's worth noting there is a dropped round in the championship, so if a driver does miss a race, then it can technically not really impact too much. So that's the top 3 for Pro: Canesa, Dawu, Wolfgang and Rapid Duck. And then we've got Rui in P4, who also isn't racing tonight. We've got Moggs in P5, Morex in P6, the Smoking Frenchman Will Friedman in P7, Shadow Lancer P8, Chris Yavolt in P9, Liam Knott 10th, Axel Racing in 11th, who has missed a few rounds and is also not racing tonight, Romeria 12th, and Polamoid in 13th. So that is your Pro class. There is 13 drivers in total in Pro, but we're only expecting around about 10 tonight, I believe. And then moving on to the AM class. So the AM class is currently dominating the grid tonight, and those are your drivers with the red coloured numbers. So leading the championship for your AM class is Anderson, who's currently sitting in P5 on the grid. He's 144 points, and he's got an 8-point lead to AMR Vantage, who I don't believe is in the lobby just yet, but he should be racing tonight. Third is Hand of Nez, which is D Naisbitt on the grid, the Mercedes 242, and he's actually going to be joining us live from the pit wall for a bit of a pre-race grid walk. It used to be called Brundle's pit walk if you're a Formula 1 fan, but I'm going to class it as Lewis's grid walk. So hopefully try and catch up with Naisbitt in a couple of minutes time for a bit of a pre-race interview. So he's on 136 points, which is tied for second place. So that's the top 3, Anderson, Vantage and Naisbitt. P4 is Jay Brooker, the 166 Audi, on 134 points, so only 10 points behind. So it's the top 4 separated by 10 points in the AM class. P5 is D Gabri, which is, here he is, he's currently in 16th. We've got Rogers in P6, MPL P7, Wee Danny in P8, Jack Slater P9, Jackie 10th, Matthews 11th, Stereotypy 12th, Patches O'Houlihan 13th, Hugo Cito 14th, and Jack Davison 15th. So, drivers to watch out for, just to reconfirm your top 3 from your various classes. Daewoo and Rapid Duck are the drivers in the top 3 for Pro, and they are looking to take advantage of Kanesa, who's currently leading the championship but not racing tonight. And then for the AM class, we've got Anderson, Vantage, and Naisbitt. So Anderson and Naisbitt are your 2 drivers to watch out for in AM class in terms of the sharp end of the leaderboard. So, in terms of qualifying, we're expecting times to be around about the 1 minute, low 1 minute 42s, so low minute 142s is probably realistic, and we see Wifka's already reached that with a 42.3, but I would expect maybe 1 or 2 drivers to sneak into the 41s. So your drivers to watch out for, I mean, last week at Silverstone, qualifying was taken by Rapid Duck, which was almost a track record in FRL, and I think he missed out by a 10th overall. So Rapid Duck is certainly a man to watch in qualifying, number 48 BMW. He's took 2 poles this season, he'll be looking for a hat-trick tonight. Daewoo finished qualified 2nd and Kanesa qualified 3rd, so Daewoo and Rapid Duck certainly will be expecting to be in the top 3 of the front couple of rows of the grid tonight. And then in terms of the AM class last week for qualifying, there's a couple of reserve drivers who actually took the top 3. Anderson and Jay Brooker, who are your kind of the guys that are fighting up for the championship, they only qualified P4 and 5 in AM class respectively. So Anderson and Brooker will be looking for a better performance this evening, and looking at the times, Brooker is certainly going to be up there. So let me just see if I can get live with Naisbitt, so just bear with me for the moment. Mr. Naisbitt, how you doing?
Yeah.
Correct. that doesn't sound like a man of confidence.
No, I keep going very hard at the sausage, mate. It's doing my head in.
So, what's your thoughts ahead of tonight? Are you not feeling confident? You're feeling top 10? What's your expectations?
I reckon we'll probably qualify maybe 15th-ish, and then hopefully we pick up some freebies. It's not a favourite track. I'm not a massive fan at all.
It's a technical circuit. That sausage curve is going to catch a few people out. So if I was you, I would just take it easy first few laps and see which drivers hit that cup.
Yeah, it also doesn't help as well that someone set the server up, and every time we've been in it, it's been wet, and suddenly we come to race day, and it's bone dry.
That is interesting, because I'll say that actually on stream a minute ago, that it's 55% chance I think of rain, but it's it's sunshine at the moment. I was actually saying on stream, I hope Danny's brought his sun cream with him, because he's probably going to get sunburn out there being Scottish.
Oh, he's boiling at the moment. He's red under his old race helmet.
Has he got the ice cooler pack on his chest, do you reckon?
He needs it. He's just asked his daughter if she wants to race for him tonight instead.
Probably be quicker.
I think that's what he said as well.
So, what's your strategy tonight then in terms of have you got all your pressures sorted out and your fuel levels, so you kind of last minute prep?
Well, that's what I was just doing. So I prepped everything for sort of damp. I made a mix setup for damp, a wet setup for damp, and then I've just had to quickly scrape together some dry stuff. So I'm actually hoping for rain. If it rains, we're in business.
Yeah,
But
I mean it could happen.
Dry, we're struggling.
Because technically this is day 1 of the weekend. I think I've set the qualifying and 2 races to be day 2, so overnight it could change. So it'll be interesting if it stays like this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's all on the same day technically.
That'll be. I like that. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, I'll let you go. I won't hold you up any longer. So thank you for joining us live on the old grid walk, and
Not a problem at all.
good, best of luck in the races. We'll be keeping an eye out for you.
Thank you very much, buddy. See you later.
Take care, mate. All the best, mate. There we go. Look at that flawless interview live from the grid. Mr. Naisbitt currently occupying P13. As I said, he's not feeling that confident. He's been preparing for rain, and it's a very good point actually, because a few of the drivers have been kind of doing wet practice. You know, expecting it to be quite mixed conditions, but at the moment it seems to be catching everyone off guard by the fact that it's boiling hot and it's bright sunshine with a little bit of cloud thrown in. So we'll certainly see what qualifying throws up. But if anything, if it's a repeat of the Hungaroring opening round where we had kind of this sprint race where it was bone dry, and then the feature race started dry and then went into wet conditions as night started falling as well, that really was a cracking end to that feature race in round one. So hopefully we could get a repeat of that tonight. So about 30 seconds away from practice ending to qualifying starting. So thank you for joining us live. Please do drop a like on the video and subscribe, and just for my weekly Patreon plug as well, if you are racing within FRL and would like to support the community and the guys that run it, go towards the server cost. For a little £3 per month you can support FRL. As I said, it goes completely towards running costs of the servers and communities. We've got some exciting news just announced this past few days. We've got a team endurance event going to be happening this month in February. So it's going to be our test server event. So we're just going to have a little bit of a 2-hour race around Watkins Glen just to make sure we've got all our FRL servers configured properly. So we'll be doing driver swaps within that, and then we'll be launching a spring team endurance series starting in March for 3 races across March, April and May. For around about 3 hours long each, I believe. So sign-ups for that will be happening over the coming weeks, as we see Palermo just completely hit that sausage cup. So sign-ups will be happening over the coming weeks for that, and do keep your eyes peeled on the Discord and on SimGrid. FRL members will be probably getting early access to the sign-ups for that before it hits the general public. So that'll be really good once we can get some driver swaps endurance events going. But that's a few weeks away. Tonight is the sprint series, and we've got 20-minute sprint race with a 40-minute feature with no pit stops. So it's just straight racing for all the drivers tonight. And I believe the numbers are starting to mount up. We've now got 26 drivers, and that is the server reset.
Green light, green light.
So we are green light, and the first car out, I believe, there's Rapid Duck, the 48 Audi. It is. Sorry, 48 BMW, not Audi. Germans were just shaking their fist at me there, getting an Audi and a BMW confused. So Rapid Duck is your first man out onto the track for 40 minutes qualifying around Kyalami. And as you can see, we've got that forecast, ladies and gentlemen. Rain is 30 minutes away, so it's going to stay dry for qualifying, but that could mean we could be having a damp start to race 1. We shall see. Please do drop a like, drop a comment as well on the video. I am watching the live chat, so feel free to say hello. Any questions, any abuse, whatever, throw it my way. I'm all eyes. Just get on board with, sorry, just giving you a little bit of epilepsy here with all these camera switches. I'm just trying to find Rapid Duck. Here he is. Let's go on board with him as he starts his flying lap. Give you a little bit of an onboard for the first flying lap of the session. So round the final corner, and he's got a very long straight now. All about that exit, get the traction, and completely all the way down to the first corner. Well, technically the second corner, there is a one corner called the King, but that's not really a corner, these cars are flat out. So heavy on the braking, flip the car left and then flip the car right for turns 3 and 4, and then we've got the brilliant left-hander of Barbecue down to second gear. You can take a little bit of curve, but you can run the car a little bit wide early on the power, because you've got to maintain that momentum all the way round turn 6, which is known as Sunset. So right-hander, you can downshift to third, you can stay in 4, some drivers do switch between the two on the power early, then you've got the left-hander of turn 7 of Clubhouse. Again, don't run too wide, because you've only got a little bit of curve out there. And you've got the S's coming up now of turns 8 and 9. Really easy on the throttle around here, don't go too wide. Let the car go out wide on the power up the hill to turn 10. Heavy on the brakes, down to first gear most likely. Flip the car in early on the power downhill as we head towards turn 12, which is the mine shaft. And for me personally, the hardest corner on the track, turn 13, I hate this corner with a passion. You've really got to get that right, because you can lose so much time there. And this is the infamous turn 15 of Cheetah. That sausage curb can jump out and bite you. He manages to avoid it, rapid duck, and he's going to now heavy braking into the final corner, get the car straightened up on the power for the first time lap of the session. It is going to be a 1 minute 42.4, so competitive for the first lap. I would say that is competitive. As we see Liam not who's shaft? Oh god, I'm not going to say that one again. I'm on a live one there. Right, that's completely thrown me off now. Where was I? God, number 99 is rounding the final corner. That is Morex. What can he do in the AMG Mercedes? Well, he doesn't do anything. He's just starting his flying lap in the pink 99 car. Surprised track grip is only fast rather than optimal. Yeah, it's a good point actually. Normally it goes straight to optimal, but one to watch for the drivers. 10 minutes remaining. That could change to optimal in the final 3 or 4 minutes. It could be all down to who is still running at that time to take advantage of that grip. So times really are starting to pile in now, as we see Rapid Duck coming towards sector 3 for his second flying lap. Let's see if he can improve. He's currently the provisional pole sitter. As you're on board with the old helicopter here. You may notice we've got some new camera angles this week. We have commentary box had a bit of an upgrade in terms of camera equipment, so we're able to bring you these helicopter shots, and we'll bring you some on-board shots as well throughout the race. So Rapid Duck doesn't improve his time, however he'll be looking to go even faster than what he's currently done. Let's just jump on board Chris Gedman. He's about to cross the finish line. Let's see if he can improve on his P10. He does improve, but doesn't change position. As we've got Law coming as well through the final corner. Pro drivers are just starting to edge their way towards the top of the leaderboard, but we have got a group of 3 AM level drivers currently occupying P5, 6 and 7 as we see Law improve all the way to P3. We've got the 777 coming around as well. Let's see that. That's Jay Sarge, one of the reserves for tonight. Currently without a time. I'll be hoping to get one on the leaderboard now. So where does Jay Sarge go? He goes up to P14 as we've got Yuga Sito. Doesn't improve. And we've got currently the last man on the grid, which is the Lamborghini. I think the only sole Lamborghini running this evening. that is Stones Racing, does not improve. So who have we got coming around? We've got these up to 778. That is, here he is. Here's our very own wee Danny, all the way from Bonnie, Scotland, racing in extreme heat of 26 degrees. It's like tropical conditions for us Scotsmen. He'll be looking for a hot lap time as well, because he's currently in P15 and over 2 seconds off the pole position so far. So, wee Danny, Daniel McCutcheon, what can he do? He does improve, but doesn't improve beyond P15. As we've got Chris Gedman coming back round as well. We've got, who's that behind him? It's a car number 12. That is Rogers coming through. So Gedman doesn't improve. Does Rogers improve? Rogers doesn't set a lap time. He's starting a new one. We've got Will Friedman, the smoking Frenchman. That isn't Will Friedman. That's number 14. That's Moggs. He's stopped on track. Apologies. Will Friedman's number 8, isn't he? Where is he? Here he is, the French and smoking. The Frenchin? Smoking Frenchman. Can't get my words out. So Friedman currently occupying 10th position. As we see Jay Brooker, I've missed that one live on air. Jay Brooker's snuck that one in there, hasn't he? Am Driver's gone with 42.2. That's just under 2/10 quicker than Rapid Duck. So that will be... I mean, I don't mean this to be disrespectful to Jay, but I think that would be quite a surprising result if Jay finishes P1. I mean, you wouldn't expect an AM class driver to occupy that position, but there is still 6 minutes remaining, so that could change. I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him, but that is a cracking time so far from Jay, and I hope he does. I hope he does maintain that position. So, how many drivers have we got on track? So we've got 27 drivers, and so about nearly at a full grid for this evening. So, can Joe go even quicker and try and build himself a bit more of a gap to the 48 BMW of Rapid Duck, because we've got the Porsche there getting lovely out of the way, which I think it was Woofka actually. He was just keeping out of the way of Brooker coming through on a hot lap. So, has he improved? He hasn't. Here comes Woofka, and here comes Friedman. Friedman improves, but not his position. He still stays P11 as we've got the 48. Where is the 48? The 48, that's Rapid Duck. Sorry, Brooker has actually improved. I said he hadn't improved, he has. He's done a 41.7. I keep missing Brooker's time. He's going to be fuming with me. He's probably thinking I'm setting the times of my life here around Kyalami, and the commentator keeps missing them live. So he's improved his time. He's now gone over 6 tenths clear. That is an absolute cracking time. I did say we may get 1 or 2 drivers sneaking into the 41s. There was a couple of drivers in practice doing 40s, but also with the track temps, I should be surprised if they managed to get into the 40s. I'll be gobsmacked to be honest. I think they were. Oh, we've got contact there. Who was that? So that was Brooker and was that Woofka? It was. No, I don't think there was a car pulled off there. That's car number 12. That Rogers, who he made contact with, as we've got a victim of the sausage curb. It's our PlayStation head admin, Chris Gedman, the first victim tonight, officially anyway, what I've seen, of the infamous cheetah sausage curb. So, 3 minutes remaining. Track grip is still fast. It's not changed to optimum, so that, just keep your eyes on that over the next 60 seconds or so, because some drivers could benefit from that changing at the last minute. I'm not actually sure what the technical, how much, as we see Rapid Duck take too much curve there as well. As I say, I'm not too sure what the technical difference is between fast and optimum. Obviously optimum is the better condition, but in terms of speed, I'm not sure how much time it can potentially give you. maybe a few tenths, probably a little bit less than that. I'm not too sure. If anyone watching live does know kind of the technical difference between the two and the speed, then do let me know in the comments. So Maxter goes P3 in the Aston Martin. So Maxter is one of the reserves tonight, and that is a very good time from him. So we've currently, out of the top three, we've got 2 AM level drivers. They're showing the pros how to do it tonight. So let's just try and get a driver on board. Let's get on board with Law to see how he is doing. .41.7 on a fast track is a very good time. Yeah, it is. It is a cracking time. That, I mean, I personally haven't got that in me either. I'm running at around about low 42s around here, so probably where most people are. Apart from Jay at the evening, I would say roughly half a second difference between fast and optimum. Yeah, I thought it would be at least 3-4 tenths. So you could be right with that one, Nick. So, just under 2 minutes remaining, and Jay Brooker is still your provisional pole sitter. Just a reminder, guys, the qualifying positions do set the order for both the sprint and feature race. So, wherever you finish in qualifying, that's it for this evening. There is no second qualifying session to decide the second race. A lovely rear shot there of the Audi. So can he improve even further? He doesn't, Jay. But the track has now changed to optimum. So if there is a few tenths / half a second time difference in the track conditions, now will be the time to capitalise on it, because that track has now changed and there's a minute remaining. So these drivers who are crossing the line are going to benefit from it. Where's Rapid Duck? Is he going to get... I don't know if he's going to make it across the line in time to get another lap. We'll stick on board him because he's a driver potentially challenging Brooker. So we've got car 17 across, car 134, we've got car 16 coming across. So all these drivers are going to get another flying lap on these optimum track conditions. We've got car number 30 coming across as well. And then we've got the 212 of Woofka. He's just about going to make it, I think. He's got 13 seconds remaining. Let's just quickly go down to Woofka. He's going to make it. Will Friedman is going to make it across the line. I think Woofka's actually going to abort. Apologies, I did not mean to do that. So, Rapid Duck did not make it across the line, so all he can do is P2. Woofka is out of qualifying, Patches Houlihan is out, Moggs is out, Maxter is still on a lap though. So what can Maxter do? Can he... Well, he's not... It's be remarkable if he can find nearly a second here to beat Jay Brooker. But at the moment, it is looking good for Jay. Oh, he's gone too wide. That's not going to be where a second is. So... Will Friedman, he's another driver who managed to get across just in time before the flag dropped. We've got Palermo, he's currently occupying P10, what can he do? He improves, but he goes P9. And then we've got the 134, which is Captain, or Capitano. He jumps all the way up to 13th. That was a very good lap from him. It's jumped him up the leaderboard. Jack Davison, Porsche. So where can he put the number 30 car? He goes up to 19th. These drivers are improving quite a bit. So it really was about the timing to try and get that optimum track condition before the flag dropped. But Will Friedman, the smoking Frenchman, what can he do? He proves, but only to P9. So Jay Brooker is your pole sitter, ladies and gentlemen. That is an absolute cracking result for the AM class driver of the 166 Audi. So let's just go back and give you a full classified rundown of the qualifying. I'm just going to take a quick screenshot for my admin responsibilities. So pole position, Jay Brooker, I bet he's absolutely buzzing with that. He's probably not even bothered about the rest of the night. He's just going to be happy with that pole position. So best of luck for the race, Jay, if you are watching. Rapid Duck is P2, Woofka P3, Patches O'Houlihan P4, Moggs P5. That's a very good result for Moggs. Moggs was actually, I think he was late to the survey. I think he was just got into his house like literally only 15 minutes before qualifying. So cracking result for Moggs. Max the P6, Morex P7, Law P8, Friedman 9th, Palomo 10th, Knott 11th, Anderson 12th, Captain 13th, Slayer 14th, J Sarge 15th, Hugo Cito 16th, Naisbit 17th, Shadow Lancer 18th, Jack Davison 19th, McCutcheon 20th, Chavez 21st, Gedman 22nd, Stereotypy 23rd, Buddy Lee 24th, Rogers 25th, Stones Racing 26th, Tom 27th, and Knight 28th. Those two drivers did not set a time, so they are respectively at the back of the grid. So that is your qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've got a very interesting grid for these two races. We're going to have Jay Brooker on pole with Rapid Duck and Woofka hunting him down. We've got Naisbit commenting on the live stream saying, come on the rain, bring on the rain. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's raining in, the next 10 to 30 minutes right now. Qualifying is on the same day. So, if you notice there on the top right of your screens, you've got qualifying at 11 AM. You've got the sprint race the same day on the Saturday at 12. And then race 2, the feature race for 40 minutes, is also the same day at 1 PM track time. So, I think we're going to have a wet race here. I'd be gobsmacked if it isn't. So, couple of minutes, guys, before the formation lap starts for the sprint race. So, chance to grab yourself a drink, a wee beverage, and I'll be back with you in a minute or so. Right, who brought their umbrellas with them? We've got a wet race, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a greasy track with currently light rain. In 10 minutes time, it's forecast to get even heavier and then easing off in about 30 minutes, but we've only got a 20-minute race, so I think we're in store for an absolute carnage 20 minutes. It'll be interesting to see what drivers have got tyre pressures for these conditions. I know a few drivers have not had a lot of practice for tonight. I think in fact on Discord, Jay Sarge, the 777 BMW down in 15th, he only downloaded the track at 7 PM. so I think we're going to have carnage unfold, purely because of the track conditions. I cannot wait for this one. This first lap or two is going to be a nightmare to try and keep up with, but I'll do my best to bring you the very best of the action throughout the 20 minutes, guys. So we've got about 56 seconds before formation lap is underway.
Seconds. 20 seconds.
We've got a number of drivers commenting live on the Discord that they have not got pressures for the wet. We've got guys who have not even done no running in the wet. This this is really throwing the cat amongst the pigeons here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're underway for the formation lap. So let me just bear with me while I just get you on board, give you some helicopter cam of the grid, and as you can see, the helicopter will be getting lashed with rain as it comes down on the track. Jay Brook has gone slicks. Oh, Jay, I think that's a mistake. I think this is going to be a wet track, mate. In 10 minutes' time, that heavy rain is going to, well, heavier rain is going to come down. If you've gone slicks, you have got some big balls, my friend. Best of luck. So we've got one car which has not managed to make it on the grid, and that is Patches O'Houlihan. Whether he was scrambling around the garage trying to find his wet tyres or not, I don't know, but he's not managed to find his way to the grid. So he was P4 Patches, and that's going to now put him to the back of the pit lane start for the sprint race. So Joe Brooker P1, leading the field around sunset at the clubhouse. And as you can see, lovely shot here of all the cars on their formation lap. A couple of weaving going on there by Friedman. Get that cigarette stumped out, my lads, because you're going to have both hands on the steering wheel for this next 20 minutes, I feel. On board now with the pole sitter. I think we can just see some sweat on that dashboard. Or it could be a hole in the roof of that Audi. That is the rain, but I imagine it will be the sweat, the nerves. He'll be not be used to this position. It's his first pole position of the season. So Jay just backing the field up a little bit as they will now go into their Noah's Ark 2x2. It certainly is Noah's Ark tonight with the old rain. Commentary puns are in full flow tonight, aren't they? So Jay's is going to have to get back in position as the cars are just avoiding that sausage curb. You've got 14 of you watching live, watching this carnage about to unfold. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go racing at Kyalami for round 4 of the PureSimGear PlayStation 5 FRL Super Sprint Sunday. That was the right mouthful, managed to get it out in one go. We're about to go green. It's raining, it's going to get heavier. Here we go. We're coming up to the start finish line. We're green. So Jay Brooker, he's got a good start, to be fair to him. Rapid Duck tucks in behind him. They're going to kind of go one by one. Woofka's gone down the inside. He's going to have a look at who's down the inside. He is. So Woofka's gone down the inside. We've got cars all the way back. So have we got contact? We've got contact at the back. We've got a number of cars making contact at the back. We've got contact all over the place. Oh, we've got more contact here. The Slayer is off. I think that's Nane's bit as well. We've got cars in the barrier. This is carnage. We've got cars losing grip all over the place. So we'll try and pick the bones out of that one. Let's just stick on board with the leaders. So importantly, Wolfgang has got ahead of Rapid Duck, who is now all over the back of that Porsche. Brooker has got a fantastic start. Maybe the slicks were the right move for the first couple of minutes, but these tyres are quickly going to be the wrong choice, I feel. So on board with Friedman. He's tucked in behind Moggs in P6. As we've got Rapid Duck going a little bit wide up ahead. So let's just bring you some telemetry to see where we are. So who were the losers? Just bear with me, ladies and gents. So Brooker is P1. Wolfgang has lost positions. He's just gone wide. He's now dropped back to what, P6, P7? Let's just wait until the drivers cross the start finish line, and then I'll do a bit of a roundup of who's the winners and losers from lap 1. But we've got 2 cars in the pits already. That'll be from the contact from lap 1. Turns 1 to 4 was just carnage. There's drivers everywhere. So Brooker is your driver leading the charge. We've got Rapid Duck in P2, Moggs P3. We've got Friedman all the way up to 4th, I think from P9. That's a cracking start from Will. Law is in 5th, but it's under humongous pressure from Wolfgang in P6. We've got Palermo P7. We've got Stereotypical P8. That's a great start for him. We've got Anderson 9th, Knott 10th, 9th, all the way from back of the grid. That is AMR Vantage, number 46 Audi, up to P11. Cracking start for him. Hugo Cito 12, Captain 13, Buddy Lee 14, Stones Racing 15, McCutcheon at 16, Charlotte at 17, with a few scratches on that Beamer. Slayer 18th, Moritz 19th, Sarge 20th, Rogers 23rd, Patrick Villamp 2nd, Chabot 23rd, Gedman 24th, and then the shakers out of that lap 1 is Maxter, Naisbitt and Jack Davison. So that's Naisbitt, who we were speaking to live on the grid before the race. He has had a shocking start, but we're on board with Jay Brooker, and he's now under pressure from that lime green BMW. And Moggs is in there as well. We've got a 3-way fight for the lead of this race. Let's stick on board with these guys. So Jay Brooker goes defensive takes the tighter line to this corner. Rapid Duck's going to get a better exit out of here, I feel. He's not going to make a move though on the corner of Cheetah, because that sausage curve will jump out and completely murder you, especially in these conditions. He's even flashing his lights there, so we see the track is getting wetter and wetter. It's now changed to damp, so it's gone from greasy to damp, and if Jay is running on those slick tyres, he's going to start feeling the effects of that now. So Rapid Duck is now 4 tenths behind him. Moggs is doing his best to stick with them, and Law is the man with the purple times from that last lap. He's in P4, and Friedman is up there as well. So we've got a 5-way battle for the lead of this race. I think this is anyone's race. We've not got anyone going to be leading the way with this, as the drivers up to P10 make their way around the second corner. Let's just go back on board with Jay. I do not want to miss an overtake when we've got the top 5 this close, as we've got more drivers in the pits. Let's just have a look to see who those are. So we've got Jack Davison, Naisbitt, Buddy Lee, Slayer and Sarge, and Maxter. So we've got 6 cars out, early retirees, due to the carnage of lap 1. So Rapid Duck has got the better exit, and I think he's now took the lead of the race. He has, with a side-by-side. Brooker's come back at him, but I think he's going to have the better exit. So Rapid Duck, they're now going to be side-by-side going down into turn 12. He's really got to be careful. They understeer, could make contact, but Rapid Duck goes on the outside and has managed to get the move done before the braking zone of the Crocodiles of turns 13 and 14. So Rapid Duck takes the lead of the race after only 6 minutes. So that is a key position change there. as pressed the wrong button. And there we are with Jay Brooker. He's now going to be under pressure from Moggs, from Law, from Friedman, and Woofka's catching that pack as well. So we've got a 6-way battle for the lead of the race. Let's just jump on board with Friedman, as we've got a stop-go penalty for car number 27, which is Buddy Lee. So we can see the wiper blades of that Mercedes is now going furiously as Brooker runs a little bit wide up ahead. So let's just go on board with Moggs as well to see what the rear end of that Audi's looking like. I think Jay is starting to struggle on those slick tyres. As we see the Mercedes in the background of, it's actually Law. So Law is now all over the rear end of that Ferrari. So be careful not to make contact around here. So is Law going to be close enough to make a move? Moggs took the better line through that corner, but Law has got to be careful of battling away with Moggs, because he's going to have Friedman right behind him as well, and he's then got Woofka, so we really have a 6-way battle at the moment. Let's just quickly jump towards the middle of the pack as we've got the 888 of Anderson. He's trying to make progress higher up into the top 10. Now we've got a car diving into the pits there. We have. Who was that? Was that Captain? No, it wasn't. Just trying to work out which car that was. Oh, that was Buddy Lee, the car number 27, coming in to serve his stop-go penalty. It's a horrendous day for him. Maxter is back out on track after going into the pits on lap 1. We've got Sarge in 22nd, who is all the way back, and then we've got Staines Racing as well. So we've got Shadow Lancer coming into the pits as well. Chris Gedman, he is under pressure from Rogers, all the way down in P17. In fact, that Ferrari BMW of Gedman is a little banged up. The front bonnet is not looking healthy. Let's just jump back on board with the top 5, because Moggs has just dropped back a little bit from Brooker, and what that means is he's got Law and Friedman and Woofka all within a whisker, as Law is ever so close there. Is he going to make a move into turn 13? He is. So Law goes up the inside of Moggs, but Moggs does the switcheroo and comes back at him. So Law goes a little bit deep in the braking, which allows Moggs to do the switcheroo and come back at him. It's a fantastic driving there between the two of them. Law try and get the move done. As we see, the puddles on the track really are forming now. As Moggs goes a little bit deep, and that opens the door for Friedman. So they almost go 3 wide into the last corner. Friedman, who's got the better exit? It's Mercedes v Mercedes versus Ferrari. Which driver's trying to pick up the slipstream of Moggs? Friedman goes to the left. We've got Law to the right. Is Friedman going to be late on the brakes? No, Friedman's a lot more conservative on the brakes. And it certainly looks like the two Mercedes though, are finding the conditions easier than that number 14 Ferrari of Moggs. But Brooker will not be minding this at all, because he'll be hoping for those 3 to keep on squabbling away while he tries and hunts down Rapid Duck. But Rapid Duck has extended that lead to 2.5 seconds now. So let's just jump on board with Moritz, because he is trying to chase down McCutcheon. In fact, he's actually got past McCutcheon. He's now moved up to P12 as the number 99 Mercedes of Moritz. And there he is, McCutcheon there. as we see a stop go penalty for Shadow Lancer as well, speeding in the pit lane. So quite a few drivers are really struggling tonight, and we've got a massive field spread because it was only a 20-minute sprint race. We've got a big field spread going on, mainly due to the massive carnage on lap 1. So Law, is he going to make another attempt at the inside of Moggs? He does. This time he makes it stick, but is Moggs going to do a repeat of what he did last lap? He is going to have the better drive. We're going to go side by side into Cheetah. Moggs going to have to back out. Moggs is sensible enough to back out, so that is the move done for Law. Law moves up to P3. He had a dress rehearsal of that move the lap before. Now he's got the move done, but now he's also having a look at the inside of Brooker. Brooker is going to be extremely under pressure now going into turn 1. Let's go on board with the helicopter to get a better view of the turn 1 carnage or the turn 1 move that's about to happen. But I think Brooker's just extended the legs of that Audi just to get a little bit of breathing space into turn 1, but it goes a little bit deep, but not enough to open the door to Law. So really good racing from Law here. He's moved up a couple of positions and a cracking overtake on Moggs. Really good racing as well between the two drivers, giving each other space, what we like to see here at FRL. Let's just go down the field and have a look at Rogers in number 12 McLaren, because he is also putting Chris Gedman under pressure for the battle for 16th. It's not close enough to make a move into turn 1, and then we've got Chavez as well. So this is a group of cars, about 4 cars all battling away for P16, and they looks like they're being held up by Chris a little bit, so keep our eyes on that one. And then we've got Knight all over the back of Palermo. Let's just bring you that battle on track. Let's just go down the field. So here he is. Let's go on board. He's almost on the inside of that Porsche before he even gets the traction going. So let's see what he can do here. Going into turn 13, can he make a move at the inside? He has a little look. He's not confident enough on the brakes to make the move, so he follows Palermo behind. This is a great camera shot here, watching the battle unfold. Tricky conditions for Knight, because Knight is also on a controller. So try hard enough on a wheel racing in these conditions, but racing on a controller, and currently occupying P9. Really good racing so far from Knight. We've got a car off there. Is that Shadow Lancer? That is. That's Shadow Lancer. The car number 29 is off at turn 2. They almost put off Palermo and Knight, so they almost had a little bit of contact there. Let's just go down the field and see what we've got. So we've got Morex just starting to catch those two in front. He's got Hugo Cito ahead of him. There he is. We've then got McCutcheon in P12, Anderson P13. Those two will be in party chat together, I believe, and they'll be giving each other a little bit of banter as we see Anderson lose it. Anderson's lost it, and I don't know how he didn't take out that brake marker, because that is now going to throw off a lot of drivers going into that corner with the brake marker missing. But I think he's not took out the most important one, which is the last one, which you do use for the braking reference into that corner of Clubhouse, turn 7. So Patches is having quite a lonely race. Number 69, he's got a 4.2 gap to Captain and a 7 gap to Gedman. So he'll be looking to bring that car home in P15. As Gedman has extended the gap a little bit to Rogers, who's now under pressure from Chavez. So this is the battle for 17th. The 2 McLarens up against it. And let's just go all the way to P1. So there is our race leader. He's done a what's his gap? His gap is 10 seconds to Law. So we've missed a bit of action here. So Law is still maintaining P2, but Friedman has moved up to P3. So we've missed that on track as we were watching the other battles unfold. But Friedman is now up to 3rd. Moggs is 4th, and Brooker is now down all the way down to 5th, and he's got Stereotypy on the rear of him as well. Stereotypic's almost come out of nowhere to have a look at this battle. So as the cars go round the right-hander of Sunset, as we've got a back market involved there as well. That's Max. He's going to pull to the side and let these drivers go who will not want to be involved with these. He's got to slam on the brakes now because this is the left-hander where you take the apex. As some of the drivers not quite hooking up that apex. So we've got a cracking battle here. Rapid Duck is all the way up the road, 10 seconds up ahead. He's looking for his third sprint race win, I believe, tonight. And he's looking good for that with only 4 minutes remaining, but the battle for the podium positions is firmly undecided. We've got a 5-way battle, I believe, for the podium here. Oh, apologies. On board with the 333 Mercedes of Stereotypy, currently occupying P6. And he's looking at the rear end of that Audi, who's on slick tyres. Early upshift from Stereotypy to try and get the traction out the corner. That Audi is quick in a straight line, and that's what's helping Brooker at the moment. It's the traction zones where he may be struggling. Brooker goes a little bit deep, that's going to open the door. Is he going to get up the inside here? No, he's going to ease that throttle. Brooker goes defensive on the left hand side. He's parking that Audi brilliantly. Fantastic driving so far from Brooker. But Stereotypy's now going to have a look at the inside, up into the left-hander of the Estes. Brooker's leaving him space. This is fantastic racing from the two of them. There's plenty of respect given by both drivers. And Stereotypy is really finding it hard to get past Brooker, but he's got the traction up the hill. And I'm going to go side by side, a little bit of contact, I have to get off the throttle a little bit. And Brooker has managed to maintain P5, and he's hugging that apex. Who can get the better exit here? So again, Jay's got quite a good exit there. They've got quite good traction out of that Audi, out of that corner from the Audi. Is Stereotypy going to be close enough to make a move on the inside? I don't think he is. That's fantastic racing though, through the S's from the pavement. That's Brooker goes a little bit deep. And again, it's going to be all about that traction, but Brooker has just maintained it. And he's going to go single file through the Crocodile. Both drivers avoiding the sausage curb fantastically. And again, let's have a look at the traction. Early upshift again to try and get that power down of the Mercedes. As Brooker tries to pull to the left to try and avoid that slipstream. I hope you guys who are watching live are enjoying the new camera shots. So let's just go back and just see where we are with the field. So we've got Moretz under pressure from Anderson. And then we've got Knight as well. Where is he? So he is catching Yugo Sito. Yugo Sito having a good race. And Knight's having a cracking race so far. I believe he started from back of the grid. He's all the way up to P9. That's fantastic. And let's just jump on board Liam Knox. He's got Stones Racing in his sole Lamborghini tonight. That Lambo. Let's see how much power it's got down the straight against the Porsche. Not close enough. And we've got yellow flags at the clubhouse, which is car 993, which is Maxter. So Maxter, the reserve driver in the Aston Martin, is off again, and he's done a safe rejoin there, which is really nice to see. And he's got car number 69 coming up behind him there, which is Patches O'Houlihan, which I believe he had a pit lane start because he did not make the grid in time. He's up to P14 Patches, so that is a really good recovery drive from him. And that is the checkered flag for Rapid Duck. We just missed that by a few seconds as he crossed the line, but that is your race winner from the sprint race. Let's see what's happening with the the podium positions. As we've got Law, we've got Friedman. They take the checkered flag for that. It's Rapid Duck first, Law second, Friedman third. We've got Mogg coming home in fourth. Brooker is going to survive off the fight of Stereotypy. So Brooker is in fifth, Stereotypy sixth. Wifter come home in seventh. Hugo Seater's under late pressure from Knight. He's going to get the better traction. It's quite a short sprint to the checkered flag. But I think Hugo Seater's going to do it. Hugo Seater comes home in eighth. Knight, ninth. Palermo is going to come home in 10th. We've got side by side. We've got Morex and McCutcheon. We've got side by side. Who's going to get the line first? I think it's Morex. Morex has took McCutcheon on the sprint to the flag. And we've got cars all over the place. We've got Anderson coming home in 13th. Patches is going to come home in 14th. Here comes the old Capitano, captain in the 134 Audi in 15th. Gedman in 16th. Chavez 17th. Rogers flashing his light for the live stream in 18th. Liam Knott 19th. Stones 20th. J Sarge, we've got two more cars coming across the line. So J Sarge, the guy who only downloaded the track at 7 PM, I believe, is coming home in 21st. And then we've got the Slayer coming home in 24th. He's had 2 laps down though. And then we've got Naisbitt, Jack Davidson, who are early retirees. So that is the sprint race done. Whew, I'm out of breath. That was 11 laps of pure brilliant racing, I would say. The top 5 battle was amazing to watch. So guys, I'll be back with you in about 1 to 2 minutes. I'll just go refresh my drink and we'll be back for the 40 minutes feature race. I mean, if that is an appetizer for that race, then you've got to stay watching because that was a cracking one. I'll catch you soon. Whew, that was a cracking 20 minutes, and I hope the feature race is going to serve up just as much entertainment. That was pretty much a nightmare for me to try and keep up with. I almost need a second co-commentator in the box with me to try and keep up with some of the action that was going on. But hopefully you enjoyed the live show, and I think the driver's going to enjoy watching that one back. So just give you some word on the street from the old pit lane. I believe the first lap carnage, or first few corners carnage, was caused by our very own Mr. Naisbitt. I believe he smashed the accelerator instead of the brake pedal, which caused the car to go spinning round, and the carnage unfolded. Julian Smith, great racing guys, great comms as well. Thank you, Julian. Good to have you with us. Don't forget, guys, please do drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed the stream so far. and do whet that subscribe button, because there is plenty more action to come from FRL this week. We do operate throughout the series, throughout the night, throughout the week. We do operate the same track, so Kyalami is the track for this week, obviously. So that's obviously starting tonight with the Super Sprint, and then we've got Taco Tuesdays on Tuesday at Kyalami, and then we have the late night slammers as well on the Thursday. And Tier 1 with pros and Tier 2 with Pro-Am will be live streamed on YouTube on Tuesday night from Taco Tuesday series, so please do watch that if you are not racing in it. You can also, within the Discord, find the numerous driver streams that will be posted. If you are a Patreon member, you can get your Twitch or YouTube channel linked to the driver stream channel, so when you do go live it instantly pops a notification in there for Discord, and people can watch your streams live and subscribe, etc. It's a good way just to watch your fellow competitors race after or during the race. Probably not during, but certainly afterwards anyway. So 2 minutes to go, and just look at what the weatherman has provided us for the future race, guys. We've got a damp track with rain for 10 minutes, and then look at that 30-minute radar expectation, dry track. Now this feature race is 40 minutes long, so we have potentially now got a damp to dry race, which is the opposite to what we had at the Hungaroring for round 1. So what do the drivers do? There is no pit stops, there's no mandatory stops, so depending when that track turns dry, is it going to be worth it to dive into the pits and put on slick tyres? Conundrums for the drivers to ponder over the next minute before they have to make their way to the grid. Nicholas Langdon, well, wet start but gradually dry towards the end. This should be very interesting. Yep, totally with you there, mate. This is going to be an interesting race for sure. I wouldn't even know what to do myself, to be honest. I think I suppose it depends when it starts going dry. If it's 20 minutes in, you've still got another 20 minutes racing to go, I think it's probably worth it to switch the tyres. I think it all depends when it starts. I mean, it's actually changed again now. Look, 10 minutes has gone to lighter rain, so that track is quickly going to dry out. Especially at these temperatures, it should dry out quite quickly, I'd imagine. So, same qualifying order as race 1. So, Knight and Stones will start from the back. Knight, he finished P9. So from in the sprint race, in 20 minutes of race, he went from P27 all the way up to P9. It's a cracking drive from Knight. I'll be looking for a repeat.
20 seconds. Seconds.
Kareem, J Drive, amazing sprint race, and hello to all. Good evening, Kareem, good to have you with us. Jacko Van Eck, great race, Jay Brooker, thinking you were on slicks. Yep. Great to see the comments flying in, guys. Keep them coming. So, formation lap is underway. Rapid Duck is already doing his best to get that P1. So let's just go back on board with the good old helicopter camp. So here is Jay. So that track is firmly wet at the moment. As we see Anderson go off the track. Did he touch the wall there? Did he get damaged? I don't know if he touched the wall there on the formation lap. If he did, that is some serious bad luck. I actually did that once myself in a one-off Porsche Cup race with no traction control. I was at Watkins Glen. It was a bone dry track, and I went to fire the rear, the tyres up to kind of get the PSI up, and I completely lost control and put the car in the wall on the formation lap. However, yeah, it's doable. Still finished P4 though, that race. So, we are just nearing the final few corners, and then we've got 40 minutes of racing here to come. Just be aware of that forecast, guys, because this track is going to be turning dry. Has he gone for dries again? I believe he has. I think most drivers have gone for dry tyres. So I know Will Friedman has. He's definitely gone to dry tyres. He's in P9 at the moment. I would be surprised if anyone has gone wet. So they'll probably be taking gambles on their tyre pressures. So I don't think drivers will be looking to pit. But anyway, here we go for the feature race this Sunday evening for PureSimGear, round 4 at Kyalami at Formula Racing League, and we are green. Jay Brookett is away as Rapid Duck is side by side, and Patches O'Houlihan has got a great start. He's on the outside of Wolfgang already in that Porsche. So Jay leads the field away. He's got a good start. Let's just go down the field to see if there's any contact. It's a lot better lap so far from the majority of drivers. There is no contact throughout the grid thus far. Hopefully it keeps us away. All these drivers get away. There's a bit of contact there. Who was that? Is that Morex? No, I didn't think it was Morex. There was contact with a Ferrari, I think. We've got more contact there. We've got 2 cars gone off. We've got 2 cars wide. We've got... Oh, God. I'll try and bring you guys to let you know who they were. As we've got Morex up on the inside of Friedman at the clubhouse before turns 8 and 9. So I will try and bring you the news of who those drivers were as we see Hugo Cito and Jack Davidson. As we've got a car off there. I don't know who that was. It was a slow Audi. It was Patches. It was Patches off early. So let's just bring you the order as they come across the line. So Jay is under immediate pressure from Rapid Duck as they come through the final 3 corners. We've got yellow flags out at the back end. That's car number 69. As Rapid Duck going to have a quick look at the inside, he isn't. So that's Hugo Cito off at turn 11. The yellow flags are still out, and I don't think he's moving. So Jay's got an extremely aggressive line, defensive line on the start-finish straight. He's trying to break that toe immediately from Rapid Duck. He's going to have a long 40 minutes trying to keep that BMW behind him. But Jay's gone deep. It's gone too deep there, I think. Rapid Duck could have the traction out of turns 2 and 3. He's flashing his lights. So Jay leads lap 1, lap 2. Rapid Duck is P2. Wolfgang is 3rd. Moggs is 4th, Morex is 5th, Friedman is 6th, up from 9th position, Palermo 7th, Anderson 8th, the Slayer in P9, good start from him, Law in 10th, Naisbitt 11th, he's had a much better start, Daniel Naisbitt all the way up to P11, there's a much better race from him so far, Captain 12th, Jack Davison 13th, McCutcheon 14th, Max the 15th, Stone 16th, Chavez 17th, Liam Knott has gone down probably beyond 18th now, Knight will be 17th or 18th. Just waiting for the timings to update before I carry on. Just wait for the car to go through the next timing sector. As we've got Patches O'Houlihan and Sarge, the 777 Lamborghini, 777 interview in the pits. So we've got, just waiting for the update. So yeah, Knight is 19th, Rogers is 20th. We've got Gedman, who's got flappy bonnet syndrome, in 22nd, Hugo Steep in 23rd, Sarge is in the pits, Buddy Lee is running, but he is all the way down in 25th, Shadow Lancer is an early retiree, and Patches O'Houlihan is also an early retiree. So that is your grid after 2 laps. Let's just go back on board with the front runners because we're about to start lap 3, and Rapid Duck is not as close as he was on the previous lap, but he's still keeping Jay Brooker in check as we've got Wolfgar, Moggs and Morex all fighting. Morex is the quickest guy on circuit at the moment after only 3 laps. And he's keeping the Ferrari in check. As that Ferrari's got its rain light flashing. So it's all fairly quite pedestrian at the moment, I would say. I think a lot of the drivers are just conscious of the fact that it's a longer race. You know, it's a 40-minute race, and the rain is going to stop. So I think a lot of drivers are just trying to keep the powder dry, so to speak, keep their noses clean, and wait for the dry track, because that is where they can start getting the times down. So Rapid Duck is very close right now, and he is going to be all over the rear end of that Audi. Is he going to be close enough to make the move at the inside of the Crocodiles? He is, but he's let very hard on the brakes. Jay's gone deep. So Rapid Duck has took the lead of the race as Jay Brooker went too deep at the braking zone of turn 13. I think Jay's even touched the curb. Jay has touched the curb. He's now facing the wrong way of the track, and he's reversed into the barrier. Oh, that is shocking, unfortunate error for the number 166 BMW of Jay Brooker. He's going to be all the way down. He's going to have to rejoin the track safely. It's a very awkward spot as well because drivers are coming flying out. He's done well to get that car rejoined in a safe manner as he's at the inside of McCutcheon. That is McCutcheon. I think he's in the barrier again. I think that was McCutcheon in the 778 who he briefly touched on the final corner. So let's just kind of pick the bones out of that. Rapid Duck's now got a 3.5 second lead to Wolfgar. We've got Morex grass cutting on the inside of Moggs at turn 4. Is he going to make the move at the inside? He is. That is fantastic move from Morex. As we've got Moggs has gone slightly on the grass as well. That's opened the door for Friedman. So Friedman's on the inside. Let's bring the helicopter cam. Can Friedman make the move stick? I don't think he's going to have the better drive out of this corner. He's got the left hander coming up, but is Moggs going to leave some space? He's down the inside. Moggs is trying to come back at him. That was really good racing there from the 2 drivers, Friedman and Moggs. They left each other space as Friedman went down the inside, but Moggs is coming back at him, the number 14 Ferrari. It's not going to be close enough to make a move, but looks like he's got a better exit out of that corner. So top 6 drivers are currently occupied by the pro drivers as Friedman loses traction to the aquaplane, potentially loses grip on the kink, and Friedman has touched the barrier. He's going to have damage. He's now under pressure from Palermo in the Porsche. So we're seeing a couple of drivers making mistakes, which is not a surprise given the tricky conditions. So Palermo is now going to have a cracking opportunity to take Will Friedman on this straight. The Frenchman will be under a lot of pressure. Question is, how much damage has he got? As we see Maxter and Law down in P12 and P13. As we see, that's who was that in the background? Is that? I'm just trying to work out who was side by side there. I think that was Maxter. Let's just bring you the helicopter cam just so we can see a little bit of a wider view of the cars as they come round turn 6 off Sunset. So Rapid Duck is increasing that lead, now 5.3 seconds. He's got a back marker of car number 16, which is, I don't know who that is. Oh, so it's Liam Knott. So Liam Knott is the car up ahead of him, who is about to be lapped. As the cars come round that left-hander. Palermo's actually now got ahead of Friedman, so Palermo, the number 17 Porsche, has moved up to, and that is Will Friedman off. So Will Friedman is off again at the same place. Now, either he's pulling over to retire or he just missed his braking zone. I think he's retiring. Looks like he's stopping. Or is he just letting cars go? I think he's potentially letting cars go. So the number 8 AMG Mercedes of Will Friedman is currently off track at turn 13 of Crocodile, and I think he's just waiting for cars to go by. It's really respectful driving from one of the FRL admins. So Friedman is now going to be all the way down into pretty much second to last place, I would imagine. He's got the 777 of J Sargent, and Friedman's coming into the box to fix that damage. So that is unfortunate for Friedman. But Palermo is on a charge. Palermo has dispatched Friedman, and now he's on the rear end of that Mercedes of Morex. So Palermo really is having a strong race here. But Morex is putting Wuthke under pressure as well. So we've got another battle for the final podium position. Wuthke currently occupies that third spot, but he's got Morex piling the pressure on as they come through the they come through the S's of turns 8 and 9 up the hill to turn 10. And I think Morex has got a really good traction. He's going to make the move down the inside. If they're going to leave him space, he is. So Morex is down the inside. I think Palermo's even had to get out of the throttle a little bit there as well. Good evening, FRL Woody. How are you doing, mate? If you've only just joined us, well, you've missed a cracking sprint race and you've missed a cracking opening 10 minutes of the feature. We've got a wet track or a wet race start, and it's now changed to greasy. And as you check your forecast, we have got a dry weather coming, so we've got very tricky conditions for these drivers. We've lost Will Friedman early on due to losing traction. I think he aquaplaned out one of the corners and he's now in the box and coming out of the pits after fixing the damage on that AMG Mercedes. So as we're just on board with Brooker, so Brooker, who was pole sitter, who we saw had the mistake, he was the victim of the Crocodile sausage curve. He's found himself down into 14th. As you see, a couple of cars just dive into the pits. It looked like it was McCutcheon who dived into the pits. Could this be the drivers who were started on wet tyres now ditching those boots and looking to put on slicks? We'll soon find out. So here is Rogers, and he's got Hugo Cito behind him. This is battle for 15th, as we see our very own FRL Chris Gedman with a very beaten up BMW that will not be passing an MOT anytime soon. Look at the state of that Beamer. P17 for Chris though. Head down, son, crack on. Let's just flick to, there's Rapid Duck. So Moggs maintains P2, Moritz is P3, but he's under pressure. Is that Will Friedman? That's Will Friedman, who is a lap down now. So Friedman has come out pretty much in the position he was before he lost control, but a lap down, and he's, in fact, Friedman's looking to make the move on Moritz. Moritz is probably not very happy about this. He's probably thinking, oh, they've made contact! Oh dear! Friedman has spun round Morex. He was in 3rd place. Oh dear. Words fail me. Friedman has stopped. Just as the commentator was saying, Morex won't be happy with the back marker on the back of him. They've accidentally made contact. That is, wow. Unfortunate for Morex. But just go back to the action, because we have got Anderson on the inside of Palermo. Palermo's under pressure. Anderson's under pressure from Naisbitt. We've got 6 cars here, almost side by side into technically turn 2. We've got Anderson, Palermo, we've got Naisbitt, we've got Captain. Oh no, we've got not got Captain back there. Sorry, we've got Naisbitt. Naisbitt up the inside, late on the brakes. I think they have to make a move at the slayer, but he isn't. So Palermo, we've got 5 cars battling for P4, P5, P6, and P7. This is cracking racing here at Kyalami. We are 26 minutes remaining of this feature race, as we've got Anderson losing control a little bit of that Mercedes. That's going to open the door to the Slayer. Anderson manages to keep it on track as the Slayer now loses traction. That's going to open the door to Naisbitt. They're not leaving each other much room there, almost forcing him onto the grass. The Slayer really not getting the elbows out. There's a little bit of door banging there, a little bit of contact. Naisbitt manages to keep I think he's done him a favour there. He's managed to keep that BMW facing the right way. Elbows were certainly out there between the 2 drivers of Naisbitt and the Slayer. So Naisbitt moves up to P6. Anderson, the 888 Mercedes, is your highest level class leader. Sorry, highest class AM leader, as we've got Anderson down the inside of Wufka. So Wufka loses 3rd position, and Anderson, who is your AM class race leader, now moves up to P3. As we see Wufka, we see Palermo dive into the pits. So these drivers who clearly started on wet tyres are now coming in to get those slicks on. Question is, what is our race leader doing? Has Rapid Duck got this absolutely spot on? Has he managed to kind of survive the first, 15 minutes on slick tyres in wet conditions? Or is he still on wet tyres? He's got a 12-second lead to Moggs. Anderson is the 3rd place man in the 888 Mercedes. Naisbitt is P4. So this is P2 effectively in class. He's got the Slayer behind him. So we've got 3 AM drivers in 3rd, 4th and 5th. I've just remembered, I didn't actually tell you who was the podium drivers in their respective classes from the sprint race. That is ever so bad of me, so I do apologise. At the end of the race I will bring you the podium position for both pro and AM drivers. Totally forgot to do that. But currently you've got 1st, 2nd and 3rd held by Anderson, Naisbitt and the Slayer respectively in AM class, and then you've got Rapid Duck, Moggs and Captain in pro class. We then have Knight. So Knight started from the pit lane, or from the back of the grid, and he's back up to 7th. So he's having a repeat of the sprint race. In the sprint we saw him go from 28th to finish P9 in 20 minutes, and he's now up to P7, the number 46 Audi, but he's under a lot of pressure from Maxter. We'll just stick on board for these for the moment, just while the commentator catches his breath, because it's been another scintillating 15 minutes or so. So, how much power has that good old Mr. Bond Aston Martin got in it? I don't think he's got enough to challenge the Audi into technically turn 2 of Crowthorne. And then we've got the left-hander of the barbecue coming up. A lovely corner this, the left-hander, one of my favourite corners on this track. Just lovely sweeping the car in, getting the traction down. The back end just like to step out on the barbecue. And then we've got the lovely right-hander of turn 6 of Sunset, and that which quickly leads into the left-hander of Clubhouse. Really is a lovely part of the track, this sector 1 and 2. Let's just jump on board with Anderson, because Anderson is still under a lot of pressure from Naisbitt, who's under pressure from Slayer. Now we saw those 2 drivers a few laps ago getting their elbows out, and we're probably going to see round 2 of this in the next 22 minutes or so. As we see the Slayer doing a little bit of grass cutting there, he's trying to replace Chris Gedman as the grass cutter, I believe. So let's just quickly summarise where we are as well with the early retirees. So Patrick Houlihan, Shadowlancer and Buddy Lee have retired from this race. Friedman has now found himself in 23rd after 2 incidents. I think he will be seeing the stewards after this race, I'd imagine. And then we've got Moretz, who was in P3, but after that contact with Friedman is now found himself in 19th position. In fact, he's done even worse than that. I think he's made a mistake. He's now down to 21st. So it just gets from bad to worse for the number 99 Mercedes of Moretz. Let's just see how Chris Gibbons getting along. He's still got that flappy bonnet syndrome, or whatever the guys call it on PC. P12 for Chris. Respectable, given the fact that he's probably carrying quite a lot of damage, but I think he has been helped out by drivers having similar. But so far, a respectable race for Chris, and he's trying to hunt down Hugo Cito in the Audi, who is 2.5 seconds up the road. And let's just jump back on board with the main battle on track at the moment, which is the Slayer, it's Naisbitt, it's Anderson. Let's just jump on board with these drivers actually, and just get my camera on board with them. So just bear with me. Here we are. Let's go on board inside the cockpit of that BMW. As he had a little look at the inside, but he's going to have to be a little bit smarter than that to get past Naisbitt. Anderson's just starting to stretch that gap a little bit.
We are halfway through.
I see the comment on the live stream from Karine saying Anderson's having good race pace. He is, yeah. Woody, Chris will be one of the last to pit. He very well may be, but it's just worth noting there is no mandatory stop, so it depends what tyre he's on. If he's running wet tyres, then those tyres will be burning up right about now. So I think the drivers who have started on wets are probably all boxed by now, so it'll just be about managing those tyre temps, because I'd imagine a good chunk of drivers have guessed tyre pressures because they did not have a lot of running in wet weather. Probably weren't expecting changeable conditions either. So the battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th rages on. Let's just jump back to Knight and Maxter, because these two are edging closer. As we see, Maxter's all over the back of that Audi. Knight really is having to kind of move under braking a little bit there, just to try and keep the Aston Martin behind him. Woody, jump on board with me, tell him what tyre is he on. Very good point, I did not know that. You can tell I'm not used to having PC controls on the PlayStation, can you? I will do that right now for you, son. So we've got all these drivers are running dry tyres. Chris Gedman, yeah, he's on dry. If the UI is correct, you never know with PlayStation, but it is showing him as on dry tyres, so I think everyone is on dry. Just have a quick flick through the grid. Yeah. Oh, as we've got Captain down the inside of the Slayer. Let's just jump on the helicopter cam. So I think the captain has made that move on the Slayer, or is it Knight? I can't quite remember. Is it Knight? I think it's Knight, isn't it? No, it's a Slayer. I was right first time round, doubting myself. So the Slayer in that BMW is now under pressure from captain. in the Audi. As the sunshine really is coming out there. His captain's gone wide. That's going to open the door to Knight. Knight is going to sail on past up into P6. So a mistake from captain has opened that door to Knight, and Knight has put his size 9s through it, I suppose. I don't know what size feet he's got, but he's only 16 years old, so I'd imagine he's run about that foot size. So sunshine is now out. We, Danny, our very own in-house Scotsman, will be reaching for the sun cream. Now the sun's out. He's in P17 with a 7-second gap to P16 and a 6-second gap to P18, so he's certainly got time to apply sun lotion on the straights. So 16 minutes remaining, guys. We've now got optimum track conditions, 27 degrees air temp and 34 degrees track temp. The conditions have wildly changed from the start of this race, when it was lashing down with rain. It was like a scene out of the Brighton Pier on a rainy day in England. Now we've got full-on heat. Just bringing some action from the rear. As we on board with Liam Knott as he gets that Porsche a little bit squirrely over the curbs. He is catching Staines Racing in that gold Lambo. The flashing of the lights going on there. However, I think Staines made a mistake. He went a little bit wide. Into the battle for 20th. As let's just go on board with the captain, because I think he's got Knight. We've got a three-way battle here. So we've got Knight, we've got captain, we've got the Slayer, we've got 3 wide going on here. Let's just try and work out what's happening. So heavy into the braking zone. We've got Knight on the inside. The Slayer's got a good traction out of the corner. He's got captain who's just behind. So Knight tucks in. So we're going to go single file into the heavy braking zone of turn 13 and 14. So Knight goes down the inside of the Slayer. So Knight's got the move done. Can he make it stick though? I think he is. Oh, it's touched! Knight's touched the sausage curb. He went into contact with the Slayer. And that, I think he went into captain, and I think there was another car there as well. Is that was that Law? So Law, who's got significant damage from that. That's so unfortunate for the 226 Mercedes. So he's having to box to fix that damage. Oh. So, pick the bones out of that, Lewis. So we've got the Slayer, who lost position to Knight. He was on the inside, very tight line into Cheetah, turn 15 of the sausage curb. Knight touched the curb, which flung him into the Slayer. I actually think Slayer got off quite lightly with damage there, because he took a lot of the impact was on the side of his car. He then touched with captain, so captain's still running. I don't know how much damage he got. I mean, he's all over the back of the Slayer at the moment. So there's Knight. He's lost 5 or so seconds, but the bigger loser from that was Law. Law just came around the corner of turn 14 and 15 and just couldn't do anything about it. He just saw 3 cars up ahead of him and they collided. Lucas, how do you change your names with first initial surname? Yes, as Woody has just said on chat, we've just seen captain go up the inside of the Slayer, but Slayer has got that position back. So yeah, as Woody was just saying on the chat, mate, it is a Patreon benefit with FRL. For a little as £3 per month with Formula Racing League, you can pay to become a Patreon member, and that comes with a number of benefits. One of them is having your name in the server, as you can see here. You'll have your very own racing number, your name. You need to have some logo artwork designed, and there is a number of tiers as well. Some benefits are linked to PC only, but feel free to check out the benefits Patreon channel on Discord and you can see what your money gets you. But the basic tier starts at £3, which is pretty much cheaper than a cost of coffee these days, so very much worth it if you are racing within FRL, wanting to support the community. All money goes towards running server costs and other such things. There we go, that's my Patreon plug out the way. So, heading into the final 10 minutes, Rapid Duck is in complete control of this race. He's got a 20-second lead to Moggs. We've got Anderson, who is so far first in class for AMT. He's having a great pace. He's got a 2 or 3 second gap to Naisbitt. Naisbitt has then got the captain in 5th, Slayer 6th, Knight 7th, Brooker 8th, but he's side by side with 777. That is not for position though. That 777 is Jay Sarge. As Jay Sarge loses control, he almost catches Jay Brooker out. So Jay Brooker, who lost quite a few positions towards the start of the race, has managed to is doing a very good recovery drive so far. He's back up to P8, but he's got that back marker off the 777 being debut up ahead of Jay Sarge. So Brooker P8, Hugo C2 9th, Gedman is now up to 10th, so he's made a couple of positions up. Rogers 11th, Wufka 12th. Wufka was fighting for the podium last race, but he's not having a very good feature race, but he's P12 and catching Rogers. Palermo 13th, so these were the drivers who boxed for dry tyres. I don't think that's quite pulled off. I think the best strategy was to kind of survive on slick tyres in the first 10 minutes. So these obviously went for the wet tyres, and as you can see, it's not quite worked out. Jack Davison 14th, McCutcheon 15th. Chavez 16th. Chavez is catching McCutcheon, but Moritz is catching Chavez, and I think Moritz is going to have to drive down the hill. He's having to get out the throttle a little bit, but Chavez is under a lot of pressure from Moritz, and I think that Mercedes is going to go up into P16. Moritz is a quick driver, so Moritz gets it done on the traction. I think he's going to have to power down the hill, but Chavez isn't going anywhere. He does now. He tucks him behind. So good racing from the two drivers in the battle for P16. So Maxter 18th, as he takes a little bit too much curve there. Stones Racing 19th, Liam Knott 20th, Law is 21st, who is now rejoined after suffering from that significant impact at turn 15. Jay Sarge is 22nd, Freeman is 23rd, Stereotypy is early retiree along with Buddy Lee, Charlie Lance and Patches O'Houlihan. So that's your grid as we head into the final 10 minutes of this race. And the gaps in front are just starting to pull away, so these drivers just starting to build gaps a little bit. Let's bring you on board with Palermo. Let's just go inside the cockpit of that Porsche. As we see Law boxing again. So this is on board with Freeman. He's out of position. He's got Hugo C2 up ahead of him. He'll be looking to stay out of trouble. So here Palermo. So Palermo's actually got ahead of Rogers. While I was trying to figure out the cameras, he's actually got ahead of Rogers. So Law is coming back out the pits. He's got the number 30 of Jack Davison coming down the pit lane, but he's going to rejoin just ahead of him. And we've got McCutcheon, we've got Morex, we've got Chavez, and we've got Maxter. So these drivers battle for 14th, 15th, 16th and 17th. And McCutcheon really is under pressure now for Morex. Morex was P3, so we know he's out of position pace-wise. Taking a wider line as that McLaren back end steps out a little bit, and he's now going to be all over him like a rash heading into Cheetah. Oh, so that McLaren is looking a little bit unstable in the hands of McCutcheon. What kind of exit can Morex get? McCutcheon goes wide, and now it's going to be Morex sailing on through. So Morex now moves up to P15 after the mistake from McCutcheon. Let's just jump on board with a gaggle of cars that are coming round the final corner. It's car number 87 leading it, so it's a Slayer. So this is the battle for third place in AM class. So Slayer currently occupies third in class. He's got Knight behind him. And then we've got Jay Brooker, and then we've got Yuga Sito, so, and then we've got, oh no, I thought we had Gavin as a back marker. I think that is actually Friedman, the back marker. I know it isn't Friedman. It's car 227. Anyway. So this is the battle for third in class. Also, we see a very late move from Brooker. So I'm not sure what does it look like. Knight just went a little bit early on the brakes, or did he just lose traction a little bit and having to get on the brakes earlier? But Brooker went with a darting move at the inside of turn 7 of Clubhouse. So Brooker now moves up to P7, and he has got the podium in AM class in his sights. So Knight is really struggling with traction, and he's now going to be under pressure from Yuga Sito. Is Yuga Sito, come on cameraman, catch up. So Yuga Sito, is he going to be close enough to make a move? He isn't. So Knight is just starting to struggle a little bit. He's probably the youngest driver on the grid. He's a 16-year-old driving on controller as well. So the fact that he's even in P8 is a cracking drive. As he goes very wide there, he manages to keep the Audi straight. But he's going to be under pressure from the 107 Audi. And they've got the 777 of Sarge in the background. But Yugo Sito is very close to Knight here. He could be making a move into turn 2 of Crowthorne in the braking zone. So they both go on the brakes at the same time, but Yugo Sito's down the inside, and I think that is P8 for Yugo Sito. It is. We see the initials of Knight on the windscreen, and Knight falls back to Knight. So Knight is just starting to struggle. Whether his tyres are going off or his pressures are completely overcooked, we don't know. But I'd imagine it'd be his tyres going off, given pressures could be all over the place. But Jay Brooker is now all over the back of the Slayer. Let's go on board with Jay. Let's just try and find him. Just bear with me while I bring you on board with Jay Brooker. Here he is. Let's get on board with that Audi. As we see the Slayer losing traction of the rear end of that BMW, and Jay's now going to have a great opportunity up the hill into turn 10. Slayer goes defensive, but Jay Brooker's down the inside. He's going to be late on the brakes here. The Slayer will be trying to get the return, but Jay Brooker yet again in the space 2 laps. 2 brilliant overtakes. So Jay Brooker is on a charge. He moves up to 3rd place in class and P6 overall. Fantastic driving from Jay Brooker, the whole sitter tonight. As we see in the background, as we see Yugo Sito, they make contact in the rear. So we've got the Slayer, and we've got Knight, who's now side by side with Yugosito. He's going to have to back out. That's not Yugosito, that is a 777 back marker of Jay Sarge. So Knight is now P8, and it was Yugosito who's made contact with the Slayer. Now he's got Will Friedman behind him as well. So contact at Crocodile, oh, sorry, Cheetah again, getting my animals mixed up. Crocodile is a turd on this corner, it's turn 13. So, let's just jump back out to my timing screens as we see Rapid Duck crosses the line to start the final lap. He's in complete control of this race and he's going to have back-to-back wins. So Rapid Duck, who won the sprint race in Hungary and who won the sprint race in round 3 at Silverstone, won the feature race last week as well. So he's on course to do back-to-back double race wins. So Rapid Duck, with currently 3rd in the championship, about 15 points behind P1. Bearing in mind P1 of Canesa is not racing tonight, so Rapid Duck is going to be jumping straight up into 1st position of the standings, I would imagine, with back-to-back race wins 2 weeks in a row. So Rapid Duck is proven to be the man to beat in this championship. He's certainly rapid by name, rapid by nature. Moggs, who currently occupies P5 in the championship, he's not won yet this season. His best result thus far is P2 in the sprint race in round 1 of Hungary. He's on course to match that now. Let's just jump on board briefly with Master, because Master is all over the back of McCutcheon. I think he's side by side with McCutcheon actually. They're going to go into the braking zone, and there's contact. There's contact between Master and who was that? It was the Aston Martin, I think. So the Aston Martin of Master, and was it Chavez? It was Chavez. I think they've made contact.
The leader has finished the race.
So that is your race winner doing some donuts across the line. So Rapid Duck is your race winner. Moggs is going to come home in P2, I think. There's no one near him. He's got cars up ahead of him, but that's not full position. So Moggs is on course to match his best result. As I said, P2 in Hungary, now P2 in Kyalami. So Moggs is in P2, great drive from him. Anderson, who is quite a way back, is on course to be your AM class winner. Anderson currently occupying, where are we? Currently occupying, he is your championship leader for AM class, and he's only going to extend that lead. Naisbitt is going to come home in P4, P2 in class overall. Captain is going to come home in P5, and this is the 3rd place in pro class for the captain, one of the reserve drivers tonight. Jay Brooker, who was your pole sitter, has done a fantastic drive. Recovery all the way back up to P6. Going to come home for a podium position for AM class. A great drive from Jay Brooker of the 166 Audi. Slayer is going to come home in P7. Knight, Yugosito and Wufka all coming home in 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th respectively. Palermo, who started on wets, is going to finish 11th, sorry. Gedman in 12th. And that is your grid. So let's just wait for the following couple of other drivers to finish the laps. That's Rogers. So Rapid Duck, Moggs and Anderson is your top 3 on the grid, but in terms of the classes, you've got Rapid Duck P1, Moggs P2 and Captain P3, and then in AM class you've got Anderson, AM class winner, Naisbitt P2 and Brooker P3. All 3 of those drivers, I believe, do race together in the same racing group, so cracking result for those chaps. guys, thank you for joining me. We'll just give you a classified order in a moment, but plenty of comments to catch up on. Karim, that was a nice drive by Morex. Overtake number 1. Jacko, Van Eck, nice recovery, Jay. My driver of the day. Agreed. I think Jay Brooker has to be my driver of the day as well. Gabri, it wasn't Travis the contact last lap. Yeah, apologies. I may have got the drivers mixed up on the last lap. It's quite hard sometimes to catch who's who in the heat of the moment. Nicholas Landon, great coverage. Thanks for the entertainment. Thank you for being with us on the live stream, Nicholas. Good to have you with us. Jay Brooker, can't believe I ate the sausage. Yeah, you certainly did. You certainly swallowed the sausage, didn't you? Can't say that live on YouTube. So, guys, haven't got a post-race interview with you tonight because we had one. We changed the format a little bit this week. We had Naisbitt join us before the race, so we're not planning on catching him post-race. So there is no post-race interview to come tonight. But I do hope you have enjoyed the coverage tonight and you've enjoyed the racing. It really has been another Sunday action-packed couple of races. Just to bring you the race calendar for upcoming on Sundays. So next week we head to France with Paul Ricard. So that is going to be February the 12th at around about 7:45 UK time. Coverage will start. Always try and catch the last 15 minutes or so of practice for the intro to the live stream. So Paul Ricard is up next for round 5. Then we head to sunny Spain on February the 19th for Barcelona for round 6. And then as we head towards the tail end of the season, we head to Alton Park for round 7. That's going to be a very interesting race. Very hard track to overtake at. And then we head to one of my favourite tracks for round 8, which is Watkins Glen. We head stateside for Watkins on March the 5th. And then the final 2 races of the season, we head to Spa for round 9 on March the 12th. And then we head to the season finale on March the 19th at Imola. So some very interesting tracks to come. As I said at some point in the stream tonight, do keep your eyes out for FRL on YouTube because we'll be live streaming Pro and Pro-Am classes on Tuesday for Tacker Tuesday, and then we've got late night Thursday as well. So great to have you with us. Thank you for the comments, thank you for the likes, and catch you all next time. Take care. Hope you all have a good week. Bye bye.